What's up guys, Shockwave640 here, and today we'll be taking a look at the Figma Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword Link. And so here's the figure. So first of all, before I actually do anything with the actual toy, or figurine rather, because this isn't really a toy I would say, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I would like to do the size comparisons first, because one of my actual friends in real life told me that I should start remembering to do the size comparisons, because I did forget on Ice Pick and Cosmos. So I'm going to actually do that right now. Sorry about forgetting. So moving that box out of the way so it's not too much of a distraction, let's bring in the size comparisons, shall we? So I'm going to keep them a little bit far back there so it's a little bit easier, because the size comparisons are quite large. So here is the super deformed Neo Zeong Gundam, and so here he is with that, if just in case any of you guys have that. So for the Neo Zeong, which this is the super deformed version because this is the cheapest way to get this, because originally the high grade version of this is over $200 and I don't have that money to spend. So here's the really awesome smaller version. So he goes up to the Neo Zeong's lower shoulders about. Obviously these two figures wouldn't scale properly in any way because Link is a human. The Neo Zeong is a massive space robot capable of destroying pretty much anything. So and here is the Transformers Combiner Wars Prowl in vehicle mode, of course. So Link goes just above there with his hat there, and then of course in just laying down flat, Link would stand much taller. But there's that, just in case anybody wants to see it, and for some reason from the bottom, just in case anybody really wants to know. So there's that. So he stands probably about 5 inches tall. That's my guesstimation there. But here he is with the high grade Universal Century Super Dusty Ack guy. Because I don't dust off my figures, which I really should start doing that. But there he is with the Ack guy. He does stand. Let's see. It looks to me like exactly the same height as the Ack guy. The Ack guy is squatting down a little bit because you can see the pose that he's in, but right here in this pose they're about the same exact height. The guy stands a hair taller just because of the dome and how much it sticks up like an alien's bulbous head. And then here is the Transformers Age of Extinction Deluxe Class Dinobot Scorn. And they are basically the exact same height with Link compared to the Ack guy with those spines up there, but just down to the dinosaur's head and body, Link stands much taller. So there is that. Moving Link off to the side real quick, let's take a look at the box, shall we? So setting off Link and bringing in the box. So here's the box. If any of you guys own any Figma characters, or if you've seen a Figma before, you're used to this box. It just says Figma right there, and it says Max Factory X Masaki Apsi. I think I said that right. Action figure series. I'm guessing that says The Legend of Zelda or Link, and you can see L-I-N-K for Link. There is the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword logo. This is number 153, action figure Figma. That's what Figma stands for, action figure. And this is the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Then you can see this is a licensed Nintendo product. I did buy this in my local GameStop for about 70 bucks. There you have a nice picture of Link right there. And of course the same information right there. On the back here, you can see where I peeled off the sticker, so it kind of damaged the box a little bit. Not too terribly bad. Some warning stuff I can't read because it is in Japanese. This is made, Chinese I should say, because this is made in China. No, this is Japanese writing. This is made in China, but printed in Japanese. The toy itself is made in China and probably painted in China. But you can see some features and stuff that this figure does come with. Just in case some of you guys were kind of like, oh, this is a really good looking figure. Do you have to paint it or build it or anything? No. This is a complete action figure. Everything you see on this box or on this figure come like that. None of them have to be altered in any way. This is pretty much a 99.99% accurate video game character in a physical form. And then, so there's some more features on the side. Here you have Link, and it says Figma right there. And then you got the same information that you seen earlier. On the top, same thing. You have Link, you have a picture of him screaming for some reason. Maybe he stubbed his toe. But then you have that same information we keep seeing, and it says Max Factory Good Smile Company. Then on the bottom, the exact same thing that's on the top. So there's the box, and then on the inside of the box, it is this clear clamshell, well, not clamshell, but this clear piece of plastic right there. And then you can see the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, and it says Figma Link. And that thing right there, you can probably see the outlines, but that's basically a stand. Yes, you can pop that out, fold up the boxes, glue it or tape it, and you've got yourself a stand for Link to stand on. It's not that stable, I've heard, so I didn't do it because I like the way that that box looks just like this. And there's nothing on the bottom or on the top, it's just the flaps and such. It's a nice box. I don't throw this box because this was an expensive figure, but the box seems pretty sturdy so far. I haven't had any real damages, of course, beside that sticker down there. So, bringing back Link, let's take a look at some of Link's details. This is a gorgeous figure. I mean, nothing about this figure is bad. I love everything about him. The only thing that I'd have to say is a nitpick is it's picking it out really, really well on the camera, but in hand it's not too terribly bad. But this green right here and this green right here on the upper, or the lower chest section are a different shade of green. It picks it up way better on camera, but trust me guys, in hand it's different. And then the same with that tip of the hat right there. I should say the entire hat, rather. But other than that, just look at the paintwork on this guy's face. They even painted his lips, his eyes. I believe his eyes are just tamper-graphed on there. I don't really know if those are painted, but they had to paint his eyebrows, that line right above his eyes. You can see his hair is all nicely painted. He's even got his earrings painted. I wish they were those little red ones that you get in the game. I won't spoil what they do just in case anybody hasn't played it, but you just get red earrings later on. You can see the ports for his weapon holder, and then you see the port for the stand. He's got this nice brown holster kind of thing going across with the silver button. You can see some of the chainmail, and then you see his collar, which is nicely parted in certain ways. And you can see the folds there. The elbow joints I still don't like because of that white part right there. I would have rather it had been painted like this, but not too big of a deal. You can see his pouches there, more of that shiny chainmail there. Going on, you still have the white. You have his braces there, which are done in a dark blue, and then you have his hands, which have the brown fingerless gloves, and you can't really see it, but they also did paint his fingernails a slightly different color than his actual hands, and so he actually does have fingernails. Going on down to the skirt piece, which is a flexible material, much like this upper coat piece right here, in this green. And it flexes out of the way so you don't break anything. It's painted with that nice like chainmail that he has. Right here on his pants, it's painted like the same color. Sorry, I'm saying a lot. It's just something I do. But it's painted this nice yellowish color. It's like a mustard yellow almost. And then it's got this brown, and he's got this like kind of gross diarrhea green is what it looks like on camera. But it's about the same color as his hair almost. On the camera it doesn't look like it, but in hand it's pretty much just the same shade as his hair with a little bit more green mixed into it. And so yeah, that's all the details on the actual figure itself. Articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you get some nice range there. His hat here is on this little swivel. It also does come off if you do a little bit more pressure than you really should. The arms are on a ball joint, and they're also on a swivel, so you can get them going out that far. They go a full 360. You have a swivel here. It's like two swivels. It's like a swivel up above the elbow and below the elbow, and they work together to get a full swivel. You do have a very nice bend at the elbow, and all of the hands that he comes with can swivel, and they have this part here. So these are his neutral hands, or his running hands. You can also use them as. I just use them as his neutral hands. So yeah. And then he has an ab crunch here. And then he has a waist swivel, a full 360 waist swivel. His legs are on a ball joint, so you can get some nice range of movement out there. They go out that far, forward about that far, backward about that far. They would go much further if this skirt thing wasn't here, but I'm glad it is here because it would look really weird if it wasn't. You can bring these outer parts out like so, and I think you can get more articulate, and you get more side articulation is what you get there, but I don't like the way that looks. It looks kind of stupid to me, but you can do it. It simply just slides back under his skirt thing there, like so. This one's complicated, like so. You do have a thigh swivel. Sorry, you couldn't see that there. You do have a swivel here at the boot. You do have a pretty good knee bend, and you have swivels here at the foot. You have a swivel there, and the toes do bend up and down. This one a little bit more freely than this one here. This one kind of it gets more stuck easily. This guy's not hard to stand. He can stand just fine. It's much more easier if you use the actual stand that he comes with. But sometimes he's doing it now. But sometimes he just wants to fall backwards or fall forward. But it's because I can't get the hips aligned properly. There's too much articulation there. Which I'm not complaining about the articulation, but there's a little bit too much articulation there. So moving on to his accessories. So let's take a look at his extra hands first. So like all Figma characters, if anybody has one, one of the hands fell off. They come with this like a hand holder, that they think they call it, but here it is. It's the hand holder. It's kind of like this weird, creepy abomination of a thing. It's just a piece of white plastic that says Figma there, and nothing on the back. And basically, it's just got these little holes in there with the hands do peg on. He's got like straight up splayed out hands, which are heard were for handstanding. I've never tried if you actually can, but I have seen pictures where he's actually handstanding. He's got closed fists that are just pure anger, I guess. He's got weapon holding hands for like a tilted weapon pose, kind of like he's holding a sword out like he's about to go lancing. And then he's got his normal shield holding hands, but you can use them to hold the sword, but I recommend using the ones that are tilted like this, just on safe precaution, because I have heard of people breaking the Master Sword's blade. But the hands do simply switch. I'm just going to use the sword holding hand and the shield holding hand, because I'm going to have to display those in a minute anyways. Basically what you do is just pull this hand off like so. You take in the chosen hand that you want, and it just simply pegs right into that hole right in there, like so. So there you go, you got the hand on. Same on the other hand. You just pull it off, stick the other hand, stick the other hand in there, just put the same hand back in there on the first try, and then there you go, you have his extra hands equipped. He actually did perfectly fine. And then whenever you're not using these hands, you just simply peg them back in, and there you go, you have the hands all stored. Another thing I want to show off is the instruction manual. He does come with instructions, can't read any of it, but I do believe one side is Japanese and one side is English. Yeah, this is the English side, handling instructions. Set includes all of that stuff, how to mount the Hylian shield, and and the method of mounting the Master Sword and the Hylian shield onto his back. Then you have mounting Hylian shield into his hands and holding the Master Sword. And then on the back is the Japanese section. It's the same exact thing, just this part here is written in Japanese, and so is the thing about the Master Sword and all of that. Like all Figma characters, I do believe they do come with their own Figma plastic baggie. It just says Figma right there, and it's got a spot for writing whatever is in this bag, which you would probably put accessories maybe. It's just a normal plastic bag. It's just got a hole there. It's got a hole there, and it's got this little Ziploc thing. It's just for holding the accessories when you're not using them. Then he comes with his display stand, which is comes in 4 pieces of plastic. It is this piece of plastic, and no assembly required, by the way. And to use it is, and then here's this piece, which is just Figma right there, and then it's got the logos and stuff right there. This is like made in China and all that stuff just printed on the back there. It's got that hole there. Basically, you just take this bigger section, you just plug that in right there, like so, and that gives you this swivel there, and it gives you a joint there and a joint there. And what you can do is this joint right here can be used, and you can use one of these adapter pieces, one of these 2 adapter pieces here, and then you can kind of put him in different kinds of poses. I usually just use this one because it helps him stand so much better. So setting that up to the side, let's bring in the Master Sword and the sheath for the Master Sword. So here is the Master Sword, and this thing is just beautiful. Let's set a flank real quick. This thing is just magnificent. The paintwork on this thing is amazing. It has those teal stripes going around the hilt. It has the gold right there, and even on the very tips right there. The nice metallic purple, a nice shiny blue with the Triforce on either side, and then the silver just running straight up the blade. And then you want to be careful, because like I said, this is not a toy, and the reason why I say this is because they don't even bother blunting the tip of this. The only reason mine's a little bit blunt is because I've actually got it stabbed into myself, and when I pulled it out, it kind of snapped a little bit of it off. The same thing with these little bits down here. They are very, very sharp. I do not recommend pushing on them when you are putting this into the sheath. Speaking of the sheath, here's the sheath. Nice gold paint and the brown strap going around on both sides, and then you have all of the details right there with the silver bolts and the gold protecting, or decorations maybe it is, and then you have the Triforce on either side. The Triforce on this side is a little bit sloppily painted, but I don't care. I give them credit for everything else they've done. The Master Sword just easily slides right through that hole. You push it, and then you just give it a little bit of a push, and it fits in perfectly. The easiest way to take this out is you grab this bulbous section here, pull it, and it will dislodge itself, and there you go. You have the Master Sword. And then using that peg right there, it will simply peg right into Link's back like so. And it goes on just like this. So there you have Link, and you have his Master Sword. So you're probably wondering, well, how do I put the Master Sword in his hand? Well, you grab his hand. It's easier when you take it off. You go to the Master Sword, you take this little end piece off. You want to be careful not losing it. And then what you want to do is you want to grab the hand that you chose, slide this through the hand. It really helps if you kind of wiggle a little bit like so. Make sure the hand is in the position that you want it. Find your little end cap piece and plug that back on like so. And there you have Link holding his Master Sword. And of course, you just, to get him to actually hold it, you just put that straight into his hand there. And there you have Link holding the Master Sword. And that looks amazing. Link with this Master Sword there is just epic. There's nothing else I can really say about this. The only problem I do have with this sheath back here is it kind of just gets in the way of the hat. I mean, the hat does have that swivel there, but he can't look forward without having the hat tilted, so it's kind of strange. Of course, this would actually happen in all reality, but still, I find that fairly strange. So there's Link with his Master Sword, and he fell over. And so let's take a look at the Hylian Shield, if he will stand. Okay, so the Hylian Shield. Sending off Link again so it will focus properly. So here's the Hylian Shield, and I love this thing. I would have chosen a more golden color for that Triforce there, but still looks amazing. Nice, really shiny silver paint. Blue there, I believe tampographed bird there, or a Loftwing rather, because if anybody didn't know, this is actually a Loftwing that has always been on his shield. And on the back, super shiny, and ports and pegs all over the place. Basically, the smaller pegs here at the top sections are for the actual grip itself, and then these are for mounting it on the back of him. So there's that. And basically, the other accessories that the shield comes with is that grip piece, which comes in two parts, and then this armband right there. The armband isn't necessary, but it helps keep his shield in place. And to put the shield on, what you want to do is you want to take Link here. You want to bring the shield. You want to bring this part like so. Peg that into either the top or the bottom. I usually like to do the top. Feed that. Well, actually, don't put that on there yet. You would just want to feed this straight through his hand like so. So he's got it like that. You can kind of push it up like that so it's even. Then you want to grab this little smaller silver piece and just plug that in like so that you have it like that. And then what you want to do is you want to grab this piece, just kind of line it up right there on his hand, bring in the Hylian Shield, make sure you plug those into those two ports like so, and then this will plug in to those two back ports, which is a pain in the arse to do. Oh wait, hang on, I believe I did this wrong. Yep, I did this wrong. Where'd the bird go? Here you can see on this thing is the big peg and the small peg. The big peg will go on the bottom, the small peg will go on the top. My bad, guys. I haven't messed with the shield in quite some time. So what you want to do is you just want to feed that in like so, and then you have Link gripping his shield like so. So that's how that looks. I'm not going to show off how to put the shield on the back, but I will tell you how to do it. Basically, you take this handle and you take off this part. You put the handle on to those two middle pegs where his arm is covering up, and then what you want to do is you want to take the little notch right there sticking out from the sheath right there. And you basically want to line this up, put on that handle piece, and the shield will just stay on, and then you can have the shield on his back like he does in the games, I do believe. Another really cool piece, which you can do for the Skyward Strike, is you can just have his hand sticking straight up, have him looking up, and then you can put him in a Skyward Strike pose. Let me do a really quick one so I'm not running out of time. And then you grab this effect piece right here. This really cool effect piece, and then you use those two parts sticking out. You slide his sword, oh, if you have it facing the right way, yeah, you slide his sword straight through it, like so. You want to be really careful with this piece because it's super sharp. But you just basically slide it over there, and there you have Link doing like a Skyward Strike or some kind of like really cool spin attack move. And that's a really cool piece. I do appreciate that very much. And now taking a look at the extra faces. Basically, to switch the faces, you take off the hair, which actually does come with extra hair. You take off the face there, like that, and then you get this horrifying looking thing. And then you bring in his extra face, which is the open mouth face, which has the exact same paint applications with the earrings, but except there's some paint inside the actual mouth. Like so. You can see his teeth and his tongue is painted. And I actually have heard that some people think that there's a uvula also in there, and then the hair just plugs in like so, and this is like wavy hair, so it's like the wind's blowing, and he's just got his Skyward Strike ready, and there is Link doing the Skyward Strike pose. So that is very cool. And also, like I was saying, I have heard people say that there is actually a uvula in there. So I'm about out of time, guys. So I say pick this guy up. I've seen him on Amazon for about $30. I wouldn't trust that because people said that there is knockoffs of this guy everywhere on the internet. But if you see this guy at an actual GameStop or you see him at Walmart or anything like that, pick him up. He's $70, but I say it's worth it. This thing is just a masterpiece of a figure. You will never find anything better than this, I'd have to say. So this was Shockwave640, and I say buy it. I also say please tell me what you think in the comment section down below about what you think about the toy, or figurine I should say. But yeah, so if you see one, pick it up. And well, this is Shockwave640, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.